Yes, our lecture on Sunday is entitled There Will Be Blood, an introduction to ancient Greek and Roman warfare. Dr. Whately and myself, we both teach courses on Greek and Roman warfare respectively, and those courses take 30 to 40 hours, and we're going to sum this up in less than 2 hours. We picked out some highlights. We've tried to make it as interactive as possible, so it'll be broken up into nice little segments, and we'll be beginning with the origins of Greek and Roman warfare and the arms and armament, how the Greeks and Romans fought each other. We're going to look at an example of a battle of how these tactics were successful. We're going to look at a battle where they're not so successful, and try to finish it up with a look at how Greek and Roman military and warfare are portrayed in popular culture. Looking at Greek warfare is, of course, a long period. I'm going to be focusing on the origins of hoplite warfare, which remained pretty much unchanged for 200 or 300 years. I'll be looking at the armor and the helmets and the shield, and we have an example of a Corinthian-style helmet that is perfect for the time period I'll be talking about. And I will be ending with the rise of Philip II of Macedon and Alexander the Great, and this is really where a new style of Greek warfare emerges and kind of puts an end to the old classical hoplite warfare. Yes, I'm only going to touch on Alexander a little bit in the kind of last battle, which saw the old style Greek hoplite face against the Macedonians. Alexander, he was only 18 at the time, and that was before he was king, but he still led the Macedonian cavalry to success, and it was kind of, I guess, the start of his reputation. But that's really where the lecture will kind of cut off. Yeah. Trying to flush out a little bit more from this exhibit about the daily life. And when you read all of the great Greek and Roman historians, warfare is the main theme for all of them. So we know it was important. It was part of daily life, and it's just the other side of the coin, I guess.
So the talk that Matt and I are doing on Sunday will involve a snapshot of Greek and Roman warfare, going from their equipment and that sort of thing on to how they fought, and then a little bit about some sort of snapshots or some almost like little examples of some battles, famous battles that they fought, and then sort of what came afterwards, and sort of the life, but more sort of how it changed over time and what happens after there were no more Greek, and then in my case no more Roman soldiers, and sort of sets up the Middle Ages. Right. So for my portion, my half, I guess it'll be sort of Imperial Rome, which is sort of the first 2-3 centuries of the Common Era, or AD, so to speak. And so I'll be focusing on that. And it's at a time when the Roman Empire is as big as it ever was, and covers dozens of countries in Europe and North Africa. And from the military point of view, it's a professional army. So these are people who are getting paid to fight. It's their job, it's their career. They have made a life out of it, and there are soldiers spread sort of all over the place. And yeah, Rome it is as good for Rome as it will ever be. And when we get to the end of the talk, we'll be talking a bit about how it wasn't so good at the end. The last sort of bit, and we have a sort of a pop culture sort of segment at the end. And before we get to that, and I do the sort of the end of the Roman army sort of thing, sort of the fall of Rome, and barbarians and fire and all this sort of stuff. We'll talk a bit about that. There's a myth element. There's also sort of a religious element too. And just as warfare was really a part of everyday life for a lot of people, so too was religion, and it wasn't even a separate part of their day-to-day existence. And this is an example. One of our best sort of calendars of festivals from the Roman world is actually found from a military base. So these soldiers had a list of all these sacrifices to various Olympian deities, in other words, that they had to do sort of almost every day, and emperors and so on too. So it sort of provides another part of the life of a certain group of people in the Roman Empire.